I recently cracked open The Idea of a University, and near the beginning in the preface, John Henry Newman says, "When the church founds a university, she is not cherishing talent, genius, or knowledge for their own sake, but for the sake of her children, with a view to their spiritual welfare, their religious influence and usefulness, and with the object of training them to fill their respective posts in life better, and of making them more intelligent, capable, active members of society." And I thought, that sounds kind of like Newman's mission statement. Maybe that's not a surprise to the people who wrote it. It's like a longer version of it, with a few more details in there. But we know Newman's mission, hopefully we know. Newman University is a Catholic university named after St. John Henry Newman, founded by the adorers of the blood of Christ, for the purpose of empowering graduates to transform society. And I think, as maybe Newman's quote unpacks it a little bit for us, it's always worth continuing to go back, like what does it actually mean? Because it's concise, which is helpful, but empowering graduates, transforming society, what is that about? And so I offer maybe two ideas toward that today. One idea for empowering graduates and thinking about going into society. I think it's important, maybe, that we help to foster a love in ourselves for society. And certainly recognizing society kind of captures a lot of things like our culture and our history, but especially our people that are around us in society, and cultivating a love for them and for this. And of course, that's not to say that we love everything about it. Kind of like, you have a sick relative, or maybe it's like your sick, crazy uncle. You're like, I don't love everything about my crazy uncle, but like, he's my uncle. And I'm attached to him, and I want to help him because he's sick in these ways, right? So, love there. And the comedian Norm Macdonald said that the people who do impressions the best are the ones who care about and appreciate the person that they're imitating. So he said to have the best impression of somebody, you actually care for them. So we probably do the best impressions of our friends or our crazy uncle because we actually care for them. And I think that maybe applies. If we want to help transform society, we should love it and not be antagonistic against it, that it is some evil thing that I'm kind of going to war with, but I have some affinity for it. I want it to be better, absolutely. But I care for it, and I care for the people here, and I love them. So I think that's something to think about, and something that might be important. We got to have some love for it, and appreciation for what we're seeking to transform. And then an idea for transforming. I've always thought, and it's probably obvious there, but I always thought transforming society for the good, right? There's like for something, right? There's a lot of ways we could transform society. We could probably think of a lot of people in history who've transformed it poorly and made it a worse place. So, thinking about when we seek to transform society, hopefully we're seeking to transform it to something better, to something good. But what is good? What is good for society? What should we be striving for? How do we identify well what is going well and what is not going well? John Henry Newman, again in The Idea of a University, says we should pursue these questions, and we kind of always have to be pursuing these questions of what is the good? How do we recognize it? How do we then maybe move it towards something better when there's something lacking? And two important broad things that we need to really understand what is the good and come to a deeper understanding of it is right reason applied to all the fields of knowledge. Right reason. God has given us the gift of our reasons, and we reason through things, through all the different fields in their own ways. But then also, at a Catholic university, we have the gift of divine knowledge, revelation that God gives us to assist us in our coming to know what is good. And even John Henry Newman says, a Catholic university should be proud of its divine knowledge because it has something, a gift handed on to it from the generations before, maybe we'd say from our heritage that has been given to us, and we accept it and we learn from it and we cherish it and we hopefully pass it on. But with right reason and with divine revelation, then we can continue to pursue and come to good answers, real answers of what is good. What should society be striving for? right reason and divine revelation. And they work together and help us out. And also, I think, divine revelation gives us a grounding that kind of lasts amidst maybe the storms and the winds of the time, that we have a firm foundation in these kind of transcendent truths that come to us from God about the meaning of the world, about the dignity of the human person, the destiny of the human person, God's providence, God's love, and so much more. Those things ground us, and then we work with our reason to come toward what is good. And even then, divine knowledge in some way is like that light, that kindly light that we ask to lead us. Lead kindly light. Divine revelation is a light that helps to lead us. Or even like our reading, Christ is that sign for the nations. And so the point I left out, because I didn't follow my notes well enough, is but it's important, I think, with loving something. Jonah is a bad example of not loving. Jonah, the whole story, Jonah doesn't want to go and preach to the Ninevites because he doesn't want God to have mercy on them. And so he resists because he doesn't love them. And God works to make Jonah go, and he preaches, and God has mercy on them. Some things work toward their good. They repent. So there we go. Love, and right reason and revelation. So Newman University is a Catholic university named for St. John Henry Newman, founded by the Doors of the Blood of Christ, for the purpose of empowering graduates with love for society and everyone in it to transform society for the good, which we can come to know and appreciate more and more with right reason and divine revelation.